Good morning. Today we are going to do some tapping and a story time. Let's get started. These are the eggs that I get from Aldi's. A little bit noisy. Today's story is I've had one hell of a week. It all started Saturday. Saturday, my husband went outside to feed the feral stray cats, the colony that we take care of. And he tells me to hurry up and come to the door because Wild Man was there. Wild Man is a cat. He's probably going on about 15 years old. He was one of the first cats within our first colony that we ever took care of. His colony was the very first colony that we were introduced to cats in a colony for feral/stray. We didn't know much of anything going on. We were just babies ourselves. Well, Wild Man, we called him Wild Man because that boy, he was wild. We could pet him, we could love on him, everything like that, but he wanted to be the first to do everything. He used to sleep on where the windshield wipers are. He would stretch across there and sleep there. Well, he hadn't been at the place for about 2 years, so we knew he was old. He hadn't been around us for 2 years, so we went, I think he passed on. So when we both saw Wild Man sitting there, we were both in shock. As soon as he saw us, he started screaming, meaning he needed some food. We fed him. The only bad thing was his head on this side was humongous. It was like humongous. It was like a cartoon. It was just out of proportion. When I saw that, I went, oh no, maybe he has an abscess. He has to get seen. Look at the little heads. Pasture raised. So we knew he had to be seen. So we let him eat. And we couldn't get him to the vet anyways until Monday. He just seemed like he was acting like himself, but just with a giant head. Well, that evening I went to give him some chicken sticks. And he was laying there being quiet until I showed up, and then he was screaming again. So I gave him the chicken sticks. He seemed to be okay. And I said, do you want to come inside? Come on, we need to take you inside. I didn't have the cage put up because I don't trap, neuter, release or anything during the summertime. I take a break for 3 months and then I go back into it in the fall. So I had to run inside and put the cage up. It took me about maybe 10-15 minutes to get it all set up. And I got Wildman up to our tree. And I said, just stay there. I'll be right back to get you. Well, I told my husband, I said, go get him, bring him inside. Well, when my husband went out, he was gone. He wasn't anywhere. We went looking for him. He wasn't anywhere to be seen. So I thought, maybe he didn't want our help. Plus, I had been praying and I said, God, if you want me to help this cat, give me a sign. Let me know. Because we don't have a money tree in the back. We don't have, money that we can just pluck out of nowhere. Remember, we are low budget. We are a low budget family. Why do you think we're doing YouTube? Trying to get monetized. To help these cats. So when he left, I thought that was a sign that he doesn't want our help. So I was like, okay. I said a prayer for him that evening. I went outside, said a prayer, a few prayers. And basically I just thought that he came to us to say his goodbyes and he was going to go away. Chocolate covered cherries. I love these. This is my favorite brand right here. Let me take the middle part out because it is noisy. That's noisy. I know these are things that you've probably seen me tap on before, but guess what? You're going to see it again. And I'm sorry if you can hear anything, like an alarm or anything going off. I haven't been able to turn it off yet. So I just went back into the house doing my normal thing. When we woke up that morning, getting ready for work, and my boss contacts me through text stating, don't come to work because we do not have any electricity because of the storm. That evening we had a really bad storm. And it kind of flooded the place. So where I worked didn't have any electricity at all, and it wouldn't come back on until that evening. So she just told me to stay home. Well, I was getting my trap ready to put back out into the barn. So I had the trap, getting ready to walk out the door, and I was stopped in my tracks. There was Wild Man sitting there. This is going to be a little bit graphic, so if you can't handle that, go ahead and turn it off right now, and then you can just pick it back up in a bit. Okay, the people that can't handle it, are you gone? Okay. He was sitting there with part of his head gone. You heard me right. Screaming. I dropped the trap. I ran and got everything I needed to, got the carrier, got a little bit of food, got the carrier right in front of him, showed him the food, pushed it inside. He followed it because he was hungry, and I just shut it, and then I was gone. I was gone to the vet. I made sure my door was shut, everything like that. But everything was such a blur that, have you ever had a situation to where everything's just a blur and you can't remember if you really did everything or not? That's how it was, because I just reacted. I wasn't speeding or nothing like that. I was just trying to get him to the vet as soon as I could. Got him to the vet. They could work him in. He was not fixed because we could never trap him. So they saw his head and everything. And the bad part was there was already maggots in his wound. Bunches of them in his wound. The vet said they're just doing what they're supposed to do. I was like, oh my goodness. I told them that I wanted him checked for certain diseases. Before we proceed. No sense in doing anything with him if he has something bad. He was very good for the vet. They were shocked that he was so good with the wound that he had. He was loving on them. He was so good. They drew his blood, and he just laid there. Here's the inner parts of that. So it's going to be about 10 minutes before I found out anything. She came back in and she said, I am so sorry. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I think it was he had leukemia. The only option that I had, plus with the wound that he had, with that, he wouldn't have been able to heal well at all. If my face is getting red, that's because it is just hot in here. I'm trying to get all this stuff done for you. So you don't hear too much stuff in the background. But when the humidity is up and there's not too much air movement going around, my face will turn red, but I'm okay. So the only option I had was to put him down. And that's what I did. This is so noisy. Oh my gosh, I still smell like the cherries. That was the roughest thing for me. Even though I hadn't seen him for 2 years, we had a history. We had a long history. So they asked me what kind of cremation I wanted. Of course, I was going to pick a private cremation because we have a long history. Like I said, I'm sorry if you hear any type of alarm today. That sounds pretty good. So she prepared everything, and she went ahead and gave him the one injection. She was trying something different that she's done before, but never with any of the cats that I've had. And she explained it to me. It was a more natural effect. And she goes, a lot of times I just give this to them, they just fall asleep, and then they just pass away. It takes about 15 minutes. They're not in any type of pain or anything like that. And then a lot of times she doesn't even have to use the extra syringe to make the heart stop. So before they came in, I got to spend some more time with him, and I put him on the couch with my towel. And the thing that killed me the most was he was sitting there making biscuits and loving up on me, rubbing his head up on me, kissing me, even with the blood, everything rolling down him. It was all over me. I didn't care. I didn't care because I was losing somebody. I was losing a cat that started it all for me. He was the first cat within the colony, the very first colony. You have to understand that he was the first. So as soon as they came and they gave him the injection, I went ahead and said, okay, go ahead and do it. And he stretched out, and that's normally what they do. They stretch out and to get comfy. And as soon as she pulled the syringe out, he was gone. It didn't take 15 minutes. It didn't take a minute. He was gone. She checked his heart. She checked everything. He was gone. This is how tired he was and how sick he was. He was that tired and that sick, and he came to me. He came back home. After being gone for 2 years, some people always say, oh, you can't go back home. Screw that, you can always go back home. My cats can always go back home, and that's what he did, and that's what they know. I've had to put so many cats to sleep because they come back home to me when they're terribly sick. They won't come to me when they're not that sick and I could take care of them. But at least they come back to me. Like I had one cat crawling across my yard, getting back home because she knew we would take care of her. And I had to put her down too. But that girl was crawling. I looked out the door and I saw this cat crawling. I knew who it was. I picked her up. I pleaded with the vet. I was begging him, please, 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 let me just bring her in and you can just put her to sleep. Please. Don't let this cat lay out here and die. And I cannot just bring her in and let her die. I can't do that. Please, 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 let's do this. And he agreed. I took her in. We put her down. He says, yes, she needed to be put down. But she came home. And he came home. Wild Man came home to me. I am just so happy that he came home. I know he's in a safe place now. I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to worry about him going, where is he at? What happened to his head? Is he okay? No. No. I sent him off to a better place. He gave me a kiss. Before the vet came in, I knew I was doing the right thing. I just knew it. This thing's noisy. And the last box I have are these. And when people say that you can't unsee something, that is true. I had to take a vacation day yesterday because I just could not get his head, everything out of my brain. My brain was so messed up yesterday. I had to get myself straight. Once you see something like that, you can't get it back. You can't get it back. It's like you can't unsee it. And you're like, why did I have to see that? Why? But I'm glad that he's in a better place. Right now, we are just waiting for his cremation, for his ashes to come back. It's always a terrible feeling when you go into the vet with a cat and with a full carrier, and then when you leave, you have nothing in your carrier. People know. I told myself I wasn't going to cry at the vet. I thought I was going to be stronger because I hadn't seen him for 2 years. Honey. When they told me what had happened and what he had, I was trying to hold it back, hold it back, hold it back. It just came out. When I went into that one room, it's real nice, it's dark and everything. I lost it. Especially when he started kissing on me, loving on me, doing the little biscuits. I lost it. I lost it. And I miss him. I still miss him. Even I hadn't seen him for 2 years. When I saw him, all those memories came flooding back. And whenever I had to take him into that room and get him ready, every memory I had of him when he was a baby, when I took care of him. Everything just went, it just all came flooding back. And he was a little bit of a talker, so he was talking a little bit to me in there, doing his little meow, meow. But I know he's in a better place. I know he's in a better place. It's just rough on me when I see a life that has to be taken away. I'm not good with death. No, I'm good with life. That's what I'm good with. I am not good with the death whatsoever. I'm not afraid of it, okay? Because I know everybody's going to die. I just don't like death because I like life. That's what I am. I am life. I feel like that is my main thing is life. I hate death. I don't do well with death. Does it matter if I see like a deer on the side of the road? Sometimes I start crying because its life was taken. That's just how I am. I'm probably too emotional. But that is how my week has been. So I hope you have had a better week so far. And I am going to get ready and end it here because it's just getting too warm in here. Oh my goodness, I have little tears on my little desk here. Oh. All right, here are your butterfly hearts. I'm sorry for the sad story. I'm sorry. But I've told you before that if you don't see me on here being super happy and everything like that, it's because something has happened in my life. Something has happened in my life. But I have missed you. I hope you have a good rest of your week. Today is Wednesday. It's hump day. And let me know in the comments if there's any stories of any pets that you have lost. I know some of you have lost pets. You have shared that with me, and thank you so much for doing that. So if you don't want to share that again or bring up those memories, don't. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental and emotional self first. I love you. I will see you later. Take care of yourself. Drink plenty of water because it's hot.